What's going on? Today I wanted to talk about how to do a dumbbell lateral raise because this is one of those exercises that you see people doing wrong the most, and you see people ego lifting with a lot because you have to go pretty light with this weight. So people are pretty shocked when they're like benching 225 and all of a sudden they try to do lateral raises and they're wondering why 5 pounds is super heavy. And they're like, no way, I should be able to do 20. And they try to do 20 or 25 or 30. And then their form is just horrible. So I'm going to show you how to do this exercise properly, and also how to go a little bit heavier on it if you want to. But if it's your first time doing it, I recommend going extremely light. So right now, especially if it's your first time, you might not even want to use weights at all. So I'm going to demonstrate just using this because again, this exercise will humble you. It will make you feel pretty weak, but that's okay because we're really getting stronger, right? That's what working out does, makes you feel weak when in reality you are getting stronger. So there's different variations of this. Again, you can come, some people go kind of at an angle, some people go directly from the side, and some people come through the front. And I think it's best to incorporate a mixture of these to make sure you're hitting shoulders from different angles. So let's just go from the side first. Okay, so what you see a lot of people doing, especially if they're going really heavy, is they're almost doing like a shrug. They're almost kind of like just doing this, right? You're working more of your traps in this case than you are your actual shoulders. And so if you really want to hit your shoulders without having to do a lot of volume, without the chance of injury, you want to go light to something you could do anywhere from 8 to 12 reps, and you just want to come out to the side. So let the weight rest and let your shoulders, imagine there's like a string here. I mean, it technically is the muscle, right? But imagine there's a string here, and that string is just pulling, kind of like a puppet string, right? And it's just pulling and it's lifting this up. Okay, we're not using our biceps, we're not using our forearms, there's a string there, and it's just pulling this up. How high do you want to go? Basically, here is fine. Anywhere past here is a little excessive, but I would say try to get a little bit past being flat here. Just go a little bit up, and then slow on the way down. That is very important. A lot of people think if they just get the weight up is enough. No, you want to control the weight. That's where most of the growth happens, is in this part right here where we're fighting it on the way down. Explode up, fight it on the way down. Explode up, fight it on the way down. Now there should be a little bit of a bend in your elbows, but not too much, because again, if you get a lot here, we're just kind of doing traps, right? And so you don't want to be like completely straight out, okay? That's too tense, but you do want to have a slight bend in your elbows. I'll show you from the side so you can see that. Just a slight bend, just like that. Come up, again, you want to try to explode up, just using your shoulders, not your traps. Fight it down. Now, when you slow it down, I promise you, you're going to feel so much more in your shoulders if you were before, like previously, just trying to ego lift and just get it up and just kind of like flap like a bird. You know, you want to get it up. And even if you have to use a little bit of momentum, and this is where we start getting into what I was speaking about, if you want to do lift heavier, since most of the growth does happen on the eccentric phase where we're stretching that muscle and fighting it, you can go a little bit heavier as long as you're controlling the eccentric. So we're going to go a little bit heavier here. I have some actual weights on it now. And so, again, that's fine to cheat up a little bit. Cheat it up as long as when you get here, you're fighting it. And even this, I would still consider this to actually be too heavy for me because, as you can see, my posture changed a lot. I had to lean back a little bit. You can just tell my posture changes in kind of an awkward way. I'm here, I'm leaning back, and even this I would consider to be too much. So this weight I would lower. Like I said, it's very, very humbling. It's a small muscle, you know, and the shoulder is a muscle you do not want to injure. Absolutely do not, because once you injure your shoulder, it affects everything else. It affects you working out your biceps, your triceps, your chest, your squat. You injure your shoulder, everything is affected, and it will make all your muscles weaker because you can't hit them as hard, right? So shoulder is something you want to take care of, right? And you need your shoulder, of course. You need it for almost everything you do. So take care of it. Don't ego lift it, you know. But anyways, back to this, the same forearm works the same if we're going straight up. So again, a little bit of bend in the elbows. You don't want to be straight out like this. You don't want to be too tense. A little bit of bend there. And think about a string, just pulling it up. You don't need to swing, okay? Don't need to do this, none of this, okay? Just from here, let the muscle pull it. Let the muscle pull it up, not momentum, nothing like that. Again, if you want to go a little bit heavier, yeah, you can get a momentum as long as you are controlling that on the way down. And you're not like, your form isn't all jacked up and you're not sitting here like this. You can go a little bit heavier, give it a little oomph, and once you get here, fight it down. If you can fight it for 4 seconds without your form breaking down a lot, that's fine, okay? A little bit of ego lifting there is okay, all right? But it's better, in my opinion, to just let the muscle lift it. See, nothing's moving, my body's not moving, I'm not, hip thrusting it up in the air. I'm just from here, letting the muscle pull the weight up, and then slow down. And when you're coming down, you want to just like put your brain in your shoulders for a second. Feel that burn. When you get to the bottom, pull it back up. Pull it back up. And you don't need a lot of these. The shoulder is a small muscle. It doesn't need a lot of volume, especially because it already gets a lot of volume from other things we're doing, right? When you do bench press, your shoulder is getting a lot of volume. Of course, when you're doing shoulder press, your shoulder's getting, like when you do squat, your shoulder's getting a little bit of volume there. So your shoulders don't need a lot of volume. I think 1 to 2 dedicated shoulder workouts a week is enough. Just because if you're doing other things, like if you're doing pushing exercises, such as bench press, and normally when we do bench, we do more than one exercise, your shoulder's already getting volume. Now, that's differently for the back of your shoulders. I would say delts, it's fine to do up to 4, right? You can double it. Do not 4 sets, but 4 different workouts for your delts, for your real delts a week. That's fine because that doesn't get as much volume. It might when you're doing, your back and your pull day, but it's better in my opinion to do a little bit more there rather than to work on the front of your shoulders because they're already getting some volume. That doesn't mean you shouldn't target them. I think shoulders should be targeted. You will see better growth with that. But my advice is just to go easy on them because again, they do get a lot of volume. They are small muscle. They are very prone to injury. So make sure you're warming up before you do any shoulder exercises. I recommend the way to warm up, just do some rotations like this, loosen it up, go back the other way, make sure it's warmed up. And again, when you're starting, start light. You saw me, I started with literally no weight at all. And guess what? Those reps that I was showing you, that burned. I could feel it. My shoulders are pumped. They are burning just from no weight. Don't let your ego take over when you're doing shoulders, okay? Other exercise you want to do it, whatever, but your shoulders, it's not worth the risk. Again, if you hurt your shoulder, everything's going to be out of commission. It's going to affect everything. It could even affect your posture, could affect the way you walk, and it can cause this ripple down effect where it's really just going to destroy a lot of things if you mess up your shoulder, okay? So it's something you really want to take care of. So that's why we want to work it out, right? We want to strengthen it, but we want to do it properly and we want to do it without injury. So there's just a little bit of advice for you guys on how to perform that properly without injury. Stay away from the injury, stay away from the ego lifting. It's not worth it, okay? Because if you do injure yourself, guess what? All those gains you may have made from ego lifting, they're gone. And now you're going to be out of the gym for who knows how long. So take care of your shoulders, guys. Work out properly, warm up properly. Do this for maybe just a minute, some rotations. Do some small circles this way, and then do some big, slow rotations. And then again, start off light. See how you feel. No kinks, nothing like that. Go up a little bit heavier. But just make sure when you're doing shoulders, you're controlling that eccentric weight, and you'll feel a good burn there. And no ego lifting. So that's it for today, guys. If you guys enjoyed this, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you want to see next. Thanks for watching.